Nikola Budimir was born on March the 14th, 1914 in Zrmanja, Lika, Yugoslavia, the youngest of 13 children. When he was 4 months old, his father went to war, never to return. His widow struggled to raise the children alone. Nikola was placed as an apprentice with a family who were merchants through a government program for poor families. After the completion of this program, he received his license as a businessman. Nick started a family wholesale food business and oil factory in Belgrade. In 1946, the Germans took over the businesses, and Nick watched other businessmen being arrested. He then decided to flee with his family to safety. With his wife Larissa, daughter of a Greek businessman, and their 2 daughters, Liljana, then 5, and Gordana, 2, they escaped to Trieste. They lived in Trieste for a year and a half. After making contact with a Serbian family in Canada and being sponsored by them, they immigrated to Canada in September of 1949. First, the Budimir family lived in the Jakšić apartments on Willette Avenue, owned and operated by Mr. Vujo Jakšić, and he worked for the hydro company. 2 years later, Nikola Budimir, along with his brother Steve and a friend, Danny Manojlović, they formed a partnership and opened a grocery store on Westcott Road. They purchased this location, formerly known as Sam's Groceteria, for $4,000. Danny was a butcher by trade and also a native of Yugoslavia and a guerrilla fighter during the war. All 3 owners, Nick, his brother Steve, and Danny, worked very hard, and the hours were long. The men would arrive at the store at 6 a.m. and work until 6 p.m., even mopping the floors in addition to all other work. Nick operated the store while the others worked all the other jobs. All this was possible because the late Mr. A.H. Bolton let them fill up the store and pay after the merchandise was sold. When the business started flourishing, they decided to open another store, presently located on Grand Mare Road, in September of 1953, and invited by developer Bob Slusky in his new shopping plaza called Yorktown. Mr. Steve Budimir felt the huge premises at Yorktown would be hard to fill up with stock. But years went by. Nick enlarged the store several times, each time obtaining loans from the Bank of Montreal. Nick's wife, Larissa, said the manager, Mr. Doug White, gave him loans without any collateral, believing in Nick as an individual. In 1955, the partnership between Nick and Danny was dissolved, as Danny took full control of the N&D Fontainebleau store. They both agreed that they would continue to use the name N&D, which stands for Nick and Danny. Nick became ill with cancer, and on December the 1st, 1963, he passed away. Windsor and the Serbian community lost its strongest protagonist and a valued friend. He was buried in Windsor Grove Cemetery. At the time of his death, he was working on designs for N&D Easttown. Before his life was over, however, Nikola Budimir donated the land for a children's library across the street from Yorktown Square. Now the Nikola Budimir Memorial Library is situated on that land. Also in 1963, Nikola Budimir, his brother Steve, and their partner Milan Dobrić donated the land on which the present Serbian Community Center stands at 6770 Tecumseh Road East. Mr. Nikola Budimir is one of the golden names in the business annals of Windsor. In his short span of 15 years in Canada, he established one of the city's best known and largest independently owned and operated businesses of its kind in southern Ontario. The Budimir brothers' dedication and hard work, exceptional ability and drive, their dreams and successes are an integral part of the fabric of Windsor businesses.